Original post, June 4, 2024. My girlfriend Anna, 32F, all names changed BTW, and I, 35M, are currently living in a house that I own since before the start of our relationship. Anna's best friend, Catherine, 33F, and I never really got along. Partially maybe because we're very different types of people, but primarily it's because she doesn't approve of the fact that Anna and I have an open relationship. Ever since Anna disclosed this fact to Catherine, she accused me of cheating and that I pressured Anna into it. Our interactions have gone from frosty to cold. And just to set the record straight, it's not cheating. Cheating absolutely exists in open relationships. The thresholds are just set through discussion, and neither of us ever did anything that's against these agreed upon hard rules ever. Also, neither one of us pressured the other one. We just had a conversation early in our relationship why our previous relationships failed and realized that both of us struggled with relationships getting routine and we weren't ready to mothball the thrill and excitement of meeting and dating new people yet. As we're both not particularly jealous people, we decided to try a non-monogamous relationship, and it worked well for us ever since. I also already tried explaining this to Catherine once or twice, so from my point of view I did my due diligence to have a good relationship with her, but her perception of that might differ. Anyways, last week Anna had an unexpected emergency call from Catherine and, as it turns out, she's serving her hubby with divorce papers because he had a secret affair over the last few months. As a good friend does, Anna immediately invited her friend to stay at our place for a few weeks until things are sorted out. Catherine doesn't have family here, but we both have beds in our respective home offices, and so in her mind it was the perfect solution. When Anna told me a few minutes after the call, I quickly had to pump the brakes. I'm not going to lie that the idea of having a hostile houseguest in my own home isn't unappealing on its own already, but that's not even my main reason. Both Anna and I have friends with benefits/secondary partners that occasionally stay over when Anna works night shift or I'm traveling for work, and they also visit just for the occasional, platonic movie night or dinner party. Friends with benefits are friends after all. Now, having Catherine here would mean we'd either have to significantly scale back these relationships for an undetermined length of time or have them over anyways. As I imagine Catherine is probably even less tolerant towards perceived infidelity right now, that would probably just be a shitty to hostile experience for our other partners. Both of these things, to me, sound unfair towards me and our secondary relationships, as we always saw these as real relationships that deserve respect and consideration just as much as our relationship, within some increments of prioritization of course. I told Anna that I don't want Catherine living here. Anna pretty much saw my reasoning right away and, given that I own the house, apologized for her rushed invitation and called Catherine to take it back. But since then the situation has gotten out of hand tbh. Our friends are pretty much split along the lines of it's your house and wow, you put Catherine on the streets just because of your side chicks? And Catherine kicked the conversation up an additional notch by insinuating that I'm trying to isolate Anna from her and just said no because I hate that they are friends. For the record, I never had a problem with their friendship, nor did I ever do anything to limit it. Anyways, I'm increasingly starting to wonder if my objection has been worth it and the right call, or if it's been unfair towards Catherine. So AITA? Edit, maybe to clarify. Catherine has never been outwardly aggressive or offensive against me. It's always been insinuations and probably gossip. AITA has no consensus bot. Oop was NTA. Relevant comments. Oop responds to multiple questions on why other people are involved in Oop's relationship with his wife. Oop. Why are other people involved? Because Catherine looped in additional friends against my/our will. Catherine is an adult, she is able to resolve her own problems. Yeah, I'd love to do that, but I'd feel much more comfortable if this situation is resolved or at least pacified, too. We disclosed our relationship status on basically a need-to-know basis, and my worry is that Catherine might actually make it known to people that don't know yet if she continues and this keeps spiraling. But that's a separate dilemma. Leaving for me, NTA, it should have been discussed with you prior to offering, but Anna seems pretty rational and course-corrected. There are plenty of ways for Anna to support Catherine other than to bring this person into your home that judges you and does not accept your relationship. Your objection is worth it, as it sounds like if Catherine moves in for a term she will serve to cause you problems and frustration. Oop, given how much she's already managing to do that from the outside, inviting her in is basically out of the question at this point. My ideas for extending the olive branch would have been apologizing, maybe trying to find an apartment or a very short stay. Cute Profession 9983, NTA and Catherine's reaction is all the proof you needed to keep her out of your house. Also, you're not making her homeless, she is. She could have told the cheater to leave. Oop, actually one of my compromises I suggested when telling Anna no was to take in Catherine's hubby for a month on a purely functional bed-to-sleep basis, but basically Catherine doesn't want to be at their shared home right now because the affair also took place there. Update, June 16, 2024. Original post. I figured I'd be giving an update because I still get X upvotes notifications for my initial post somehow. The responses were also actually kinda helpful, so I'd also like to say thanks and share the outcome. It was reassuring that so many people agreed we weren't out of line and we should stick with our decision. Even more helpful were the questions why we didn't turn the tables, got in front of the supposed backlash, more on that later, and said, well, why don't you host her then? What can I say except that we're not located somewhere where everyone from your barber to your second cousin will blow up your inbox/socials and call you an asshole to your face on behalf on a third party. We only heard about the criticism against us through the grapevine and we didn't really have a specific person to say, well, then you take her too. But, after reading your comments, Anna got the idea to let out a WhatsApp broadcast to our shared friend group. It basically said that we're feeling very oil tie because say of ka thirin situation, sorry, very guilty because of Catherine's situation and that it was shitty to make a promise and then take it back. But we simply realized that our lifestyle seemed like it might be triggering to her in her current situation that would be uncomfortable for everyone involved. But we'd be happy to help anyone who'll take her in whatever way we can. Cue the crickets. That was the moment we realized that maybe there were less people on Catherine's side than we initially assumed. Actually, only one couple, who were friends with both Catherine and her hubby, reached out to invite us to dinner, apparently to share some things we weren't aware of yet. First of all, according to them the affair wasn't the carnal thing Catherine made it out to be and more of a falling out of love situation on the husband's side that has long been coming. Basically he met someone and that made him realize that his marriage was dead. And he did the moral thing and broke up with Catherine. No one is 100% sure if there's been something physical before that, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was all in Catherine's head. There's also apparently a very juicy reason why he gets to keep staying in the house, but this update is long enough already. Anyways, as for the whole smear campaign lodged against us. Turns out that the whole drama apparently consisted of only 3 things. Catherine trying to pressure us and, consciously or unconsciously, sowing rumors that everybody is really angry with us. A single couple that stood on Catherine's side. And a lot of people hoping to not get pulled into a war of roses and just nodding politely. The couple that was on Catherine's side are the friends that Catherine hit up right after us, by the way. The dinner party friends theory is that they threw us under the bus and fed into Catherine's outrage because that couple has a young daughter, and we know for a fact that Catherine has just as many Karen-style convictions about parenting as she has about relationship styles. Anyways, Catherine is now basically ostracized, moved in with family a bit outside the city and is working remotely until she finds a condo to haunt this city from again. To the people that insinuated that I pressured Anna into this relationship or keep her on a short leash, given how NM dating works out for different genders, trust me when I tell you she isn't lacking options to get out of this relationship if she wanted. To the ones that criticized her for not standing up for me, I consciously didn't want to include this part because I didn't want to invite judgment of Anna. Yeah, hindsight is 20/20, but that has been a dicey subject in our relationship. But after having Anna's explicit permission to share this here now, there's actually a lot of backstory with Catherine adopting a loner Anna into her friend group back in their school days and Anna somehow still feeling like she needed to earn her place in the friend group / be grateful for Catherine. She's currently looking into going to therapy for that. Finally, I want to add a last bit of positive news coming out of this shit show. This whole fiasco made Anna and me talk through the whole someone else moving in topic. It's not really something we're gonna do in the near future, but Anna told me that there's one person she's currently seeing with whom she might be eventually moving into that direction. And this time she asked me early if I'd be okay with her moving in with us somewhere in the future, hinge not thruple for the people that speak poly on here. I kinda like that. Catherine would probably hate that this is the outcome of her whole tantrum. But other than that, I'm really happy things are mainly back to normal now. Relevant comments. Adorable_accident 440, oh come on, what's the juicy reason? Lol. Oop, allegedly Catherine's husband was the one carrying their marriage financially and shouldering the vast majority of fixed expenses, despite both of them working and not that big of an earnings discrepancy between the two of them. So when she wanted to kick him out, he apparently said sure, I'll let you know when you need to pay what to keep everything running. Catherine goes surprised Pikachu face at the fact divorce means paying for your own living expenses and agrees to downsize in exchange for moving out and him buying her out of the house eventually. Basically she was living above her means somehow. No idea where her money went though. AITA for trading plates with my son at a barbecue after the adults refused to let him have a burger. My husband met some guy back last year and became close with him over the months. He just invited us down for a barbecue at his house yesterday. We brought food as well. We brought enough for 12 burgers, 12 hot dogs and some extra, like sodas, chips, etc. There was roughly 8 adults and probably around 12 kids at the barbecue, not including us and our 3 kids, 13, 9 and 8 months. Our oldest of 3 children doesn't like hot dogs. He is grossed out by them. He watched a video on how they were made years ago and has refused to touch them since. So when he went up to the grill and he was handed a couple hot dogs, he politely asked for a burger instead. The guy at the grill, husband's friend, says nope, sorry kid, the burgers are for the adults. I tried explaining that he doesn't like hot dogs and the guy just kind of shrugged his shoulders. So I asked for a burger and right in front of him I had my son switch plates with me. This did cause some hang-ups. The other kids were asking why he got a burger when they weren't allowed to. However, no one said anything directly to me or my son. Well, this guy's been texting my husband today saying that next time there's a barbecue, I'm not invited, followed by an lol like it was a joke. Husband asked why and he said that I caused an uproar over a hot dog and that this was just how shit went at their house and that burgers are for the adults only whenever there's a barbecue at their place and they won't be changing their rules to accommodate to a lone child. My husband hasn't responded and now I'm just pissed in general because now I think the guy's a scumbag. It wasn't like we went empty-handed. 12 extra burgers is what I personally brought and if my son wanted one of them, he's going to have one regardless of what this man says. My husband thinks I should just drop it but he's literally not defending me or our son here and I'm pissed. Was I wrong here? Now a few comments. That guy is an asshole for many reasons. Who hosts a cookout and makes their guests bring their own hot dogs and hamburgers and then tells the kid of the parents who brought the food they can't have a burger? Get some better friends. We had a family friend who started a fight between my husband and I. They had been friends for many years before we met, though I actually went to high school with the friend. He owed us money and because he didn't have the funds to pay us back he started a fake fight with me over something really stupid. He bad-mouthed me to my in-laws. He wouldn't talk to me when my mill was in the hospital. It was ridiculous. My husband kept telling me to just let it go. He came to our house with his kids after all of us went to visit my mill at the hospital when she was fighting cancer. He gave me the coldest shoulder as he walked in, colder than the one at the hospital. I went into the family room and asked him if he had a problem with me. He said yes. I told him he was not allowed to disrespect me in my home and he needed to leave. So he did. I flat out told my husband he had a choice to make. Either he defended me, especially in our own home, or if he wouldn't, to let me know and we could end it right then and there. He defended me. After that, my in-laws and my husband started to see him for who he was. We are still friends but he did major damage to our relationship with him. It's okay to remain friends with people, so long as you know and understand who they are. If you and your husband want to remain friends, fine. But set clear boundaries that none of you will be attending his BBQs in the future. You just magically will have other things to do. If your husband won't abide by that boundary of yours, better to know now. It's this story. TLDR: a husband on AITA essentially admits to what can only be described as a non-sexual affair with his best male friend. Like, full on barely giving any attention to his wife but bought his best mate Gucci shoes. When commenters asked if Op was gay or bisexual, he said he didn't want to think about it, more or less. The conclusion most people came to was Op and best guy friend are gay, but Op at least is so deep in the closet he refuses to even consider the question because the answer is yes. So no, you are not the a-hole. Next story. AITA for calling my girlfriend a dumbass and taking away her key after she almost burned my house down. Poo mode activated, poop. My girlfriend wanted a pizza. I have really good frozen pizzas from the local Italian market. They are made fresh, and if you do them up on a pizza stone they come out perfect. I have made these for us many times. It is a simple process. You take the pizza stone and put it in the oven, let the oven preheat. Put the pizza on the paddle and slide it onto the hot stone. Once it's ready, you slide the paddle under the pizza and pull it out. Put it on the carving board and cut it. Easy, right? Nope. My pizza stone was dirty. It is scorched, not dirty. So her brilliant idea was to make the pizza on my plastic cutting board. Because that way she could just take the cutting board out with oven mitts and cut the pizza without having to use all the tools. I got home to see black smoke coming out of my house and my girlfriend on the phone with 911. My dog is not on his leash and he's going crazy. I go to the front door to see if it's hot in the house or if I can see flames. No flames, no heat. I get to the stove and turn it off. I open the sliding door to let out more smoke and get my leash on the way out. The firefighters are there within 5 minutes and the smoke is already dissipating. They go in to make sure. All clear. Thank God they were there less than an hour. It is covered by the city. If it was over an hour I would have been charged for the response. My oven is fucked though. And I have a lot of smoke damage to clean up. I told my girlfriend I was glad she was okay but that she is a dumbass and she wasn't allowed in my house alone for a while. I took her key away. We do not live together. But she has roommates and likes having a big house to herself on her days off. She says that it's a mistake anyone could make and that I'm an asshole for calling her names. Yes, she said those words. She says it's my fault for not just getting microwave pizza and having to eat fancy. Now a few comments. NTA a 24 years old. Who doesn't know you can't put a plastic cutting board in the oven is a dumbass. She didn't apologize. She thinks you're too fancy for wanting non-microwaved pizza. Seems like she likes having your house to herself more than she likes you. This reminds me of my childhood. Growing up, I always thought I hated steak because my mom always cooked them super well done and then microwaved them to a sad, gray puck of meat because she was worried about salmonella or whatever other food poisoning could happen from pink steak. Then she'd give us ketchup because steak sauce was too spicy for her and no way us kids would like it. I never liked the overcooked steak with ketchup, so I just assumed that steak was generally gross. It took until my mid-20s before I realized that I didn't hate steak, I just hated my mom's cooking. I went out to eat with my now husband for his birthday and he convinced me to get a filet mignon. When I tell you it was one of the best things I had ever eaten, I'm not exaggerating. I've had to rethink a lot of my hated foods because I've since learned that I enjoy 90% of the things I thought I always hated. I don't think I ever really disliked them, it was just how my mom prepared them. She's a black pepper is too spicy, broiled chicken and steamed veggies kind of person. At least in her older age she's come to accept that she makes boring food, and since she only cooks for herself, she doesn't expect anyone to like it. Look dude, even if that's the thought process. This was multiple levels of dumb. She called the fucking fire department because she burned something in the oven. Did she go check it first? Were there even flames? Or did she see smoke and just immediately call 911? She didn't even turn the fucking oven off. I could almost forgive plastic and oven stupidity, but it just continues from there. So, not the a-hole at all. For more stories please subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Thanks.